Hello, podcast family. I'm Lisamarie. I am the founder and creator of Paper and Glam. We are a lifestyle brand dedicated to planning and reading and seasonal living. If that sounds like fun to you, you can find out more at paperandglam.com. But today I'm here with encouragement for closing the gap between where you are today and where you want to be. We at Paper and Glam are all about transforming our lives, right? Like self-optimization. We only have one shot here and we're going to go for it. We're going to go hard. We say glam so hard in our community, which just means exactly that, right? Like I will not be stopped. So today and every day here on the Paper and Glam podcast, we're going to talk about just some strategies and some things that I've leveraged in my life to close that gap and to really manifest my dreams and to experience that future you that we're all looking for. Tomorrow is the first day of Lent, and it has me thinking a lot about renewal. So Lent is really a season of renewal at its core. It's, of course, kind of gotten a bit of a bad rap for being a lot about like a really strict, stringent, dry season. And if you're unfamiliar with Lent it's kind of a countdown, so to speak, to Easter, and that it's a time to really meditate on Jesus' road to the cross and his death for our salvation. And we talk all about that on the God and Glam live Bible study every morning at 8:30 Pacific on YouTube, on the God and Glam YouTube channel. So I won't go too deep into that, but the season is all about renewal. And it gets a bit of a rap about being about abstention, right? So as we go into kind of the eve of spring, which is a season truly of renewal, right? A spring of life in life. That's when our world is popping into color and kind of things are coming alive back from the dead, right? With like the culmination in Easter. It's really a time when I start thinking about renewal. So I want to talk about a couple really practical strategies for renewal. So for me, renewal at its core is when I'm feeling really free and really energized. And so the topics today are going to be strategies really for freedom and just for energy and energy management. So let's talk about freedom first. So think of the area in your life where you feel like most confined. Maybe it's your health, maybe it's your work, maybe it's a relationship, maybe it's your creativity. Think about kind of the area of your life that feels like it's just kind of like a outfit that doesn't really fit right, or it doesn't really suit your personality of where you are now. And hold that in your mind and then think about what needs to happen so that you have more freedom in that. And I have a feeling it's one of these two things. You either need to give up something or you need to take up something. So an example would be, I always just use health and fitness because it's just so, tangible and relatable and tactile. So, if you're feeling like your energy is waning, maybe you need to go for a walk every day in Lent, right? From Ash Wednesday to Easter. Or maybe you need to, kick a habit of afternoon caffeine so you can get to bed earlier or something to that effect, right? So it's about giving something up that's ultimately going to make you more free, or taking something up that's going to make you more free. So maybe it's, studying the Bible. Maybe it's reading just for pleasure and kind of not doing so much TV time, or, I feel like TV gets a bit of a bad rap too, because it all has its place. But, the point is, it's a time in the year when we really want to be seeking that freedom and that renewal. And a lot of times that is just small behavioral things that we have to just tweak about our day that really build that momentum and set the stage for a new life and a new experiencing new life in what is already an ongoing life. So for me, I, started doing the God and Glam podcast, live stream every morning because it was something that I had always known I was going to do, but I had just been approaching it with a narrative of like, I don't have enough time. I already work all these hours. How am I going to add like another 15 hours to my week? And as soon as I stopped worrying about the logistics of it and just started, things kind of fell into place. And it's still a lot. I'm definitely still trying to get into a routine and kind of have the balance of it while still keeping all the other balls in the air. But the point is, a lot of times I can spend a lot of time strategizing. And if I just start doing the thing, if I just show up, if I just take the next right step, all of the rest of it falls into place and I experience that freedom that I'm looking for. Now that we've talked about freedom, I want to talk about energy. So this year, I have really been learning a lot about human design. And if you're unfamiliar with human design, it's something that's based on your birth chart. So when you were born, where you were born, and what time you were born. And you can find out your human design type at mybodygraph.com. And you just enter in those variables and it tells you whether you are a manifestor, generator, manifesting generator, reflector, or projector. And this at like the central core of it is how you like process energy. And for me, I am a manifestor, so I have extremely variable energy. So some days I might have like just insane energy, like going for like 16 hours a day, wake up the next morning, feel great, and I can just keep going. And then there's days where I just totally hit a wall. I'm not productive, and I kind of feel guilty about that. And I've really felt guilty about that for most of my life. And the world is really programmed to tell us, you need to like get up really early and have a great morning routine. And you guys know I'm all about that. I love nothing more than waking up early and enjoying my morning. It's my favorite part of the day. So on board for that. But it doesn't necessarily mean, we need to wake up and like run 6 miles and like make green juice and, read the chapter of the Bible or whatever. It doesn't have to be quite that disciplined. And then like go to work and work, 9 hours and come home and run errands and like do all these things, right? And that it feels like we should be producing all the time, or at least that's the conditioning and the narrative that I am really working to reverse. And some of you might be thinking, what the heck? Your first stickers were you better work. Like you're the queen of like, get it done. And that's totally true. Like everything, there's a balance. But I almost feel like it's like you better show up more than it's like you better work. Like work is almost like a pejorative term for like do the thing, right? Like do the thing that's going to set you free. So as far as energy goes, like realizing that, I'm a manifestor and I am made, like I was created to ride these energy waves, and that's okay. Realizing that energy is like not only how God created me, I'm actually supposed to leverage that for my highest good, for the world's highest good, for my business's highest good, and kind of like giving myself permission to lean into that instead of trying to like discipline myself into a really conventional like daily routine that's like always the same. And, I really don't thrive in that environment. I thrive on novelty. I thrive on just kind of like swimming through my day and just literally like riding the energy waves. So for example, if you're a projector, you're only supposed to work 3 hours a day. That's how you're wired. Or and I forget what the reflector kind of work hours are. There's only 1% of people who are reflectors, but the world is made for generators. So like 70 to 80% of the world is generator. And I forget the exact number, but the vast majority. And these are the people who are just like energy machines. And so the world's really set up for generators. And I was listening to a podcast on human design that it's so funny. Like 4 different people told me about this podcast within the same week in like the beginning of January, which is hilarious because that's such a nod from the Lord. But it's called the De Luna podcast, and it goes over all this stuff in detail. I'm kind of a baby human design learner. And you guys who have hung with me for a while know, like, I love the Enneagram. I love Gretchen Rubin's 4 tendencies. I love all of these strategies that just give us tools for like self-optimization, right? There's all these tools for understanding who we are, who God created us to be, and how we can best live in light of those truths. But the world is very conditioned with like such rigid ideas around like lifestyle. And I really feel like for me, I just have to deprogram that. You know, sometimes like when I feel tired, I'll like have a lot of shame around that, which is so strange. You know, like I am a mere mortal. I am not meant to keep going and going. And yet I carry around this shame that I have so many things that I haven't done, or that I didn't do what I had planned to do, you know, and I never want to let myself down or let anyone else down. But I'm realizing more and more that I just need to embrace this variable energy and embrace my energy type. So my tactile strategy for today is to really invest in figuring out what your energy type is, what your human design type is, and then lean into how you are wired, right? Like you're going to be most successful, most creative, most productive, most abundant, most loving, you know, the best version of you if you play to your strengths as how you are wired. And I really needed that kind of permission, and I hope that resonates for you as well. So I think that's all I have for you guys today. Thank you so much for listening. I've been starting to record these podcasts when I just like, I'm honestly feeling a little bit run down and just kind of on like processing things. And, I hope that kind of the things that I am processing and working through really help you. And I hope that they're also, you know, not just like inspiring and motivating, but also give you like really doable strategies. And if this is helping you, I would so love to hear from you. I'm Lisamarie at paperandglam.com, and I'm on YouTube, Facebook, all the usual places. So thank you so much for spending a piece of your day with me, and I'll be back soon with another installment of Paper and Glam Pep Talks.